So are we supposed to start the podcast?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to I've Had It podcast. It is a big day
It is a big day.
because we brought in a big friend. We've flown him to Oklahoma City, aka Action City, and we would like to welcome to I've Had It AustinShow.
Yes.
Yay.
Thank you for having me. You flew me first class, I want to mention.
We're not fucking around at
First
I've
class.
Had It podcast.
Yeah, no. First class, red carpet pickup with a brand new puppy. Amazing. First class, the only 5-star hotel in Oklahoma.
Yes.
Nicest hotel in Oklahoma. Sushi for dinner.
Yes.
Private driver, the whole 9 yards. I mean, I don't want to leave.
Yeah, we knew that you were our little shiny penny.
Yeah.
That's
That
right.
we had to bring in and just spit, shine, and polish and roll out all the stops.
Well, you treat me much better than Hasan does.
Well, that's a low bar.
I know.
That's a low bar.
I'm gonna leave the Fear and podcast and join I've Had It after this treatment.
Oh my gosh, you should.
Maybe I should.
You
Maybe I will.
should.
Maybe I'll move to Oklahoma City and start a new life. And well, I was gonna say I'd become a Baptist or something, but that's you don't need to do that because you're evidence of that. You don't
Right. You don't
That's right.
have to be
You
Baptist.
don't have to be a
Yeah,
Baptist
no,
to
you
live
don't
here.
have to. No.
And also in Fear, we knew that you're a Karen like me. Like you would notice if it was a shitty hotel. You would notice if it was a shitty plane.
Yes.
So we didn't want to spark that in you.
No, and which I appreciate, but I would have never. We were talking about this last night. I'm a Karen, a white hat Karen, which is a Karen for the good.
Right.
But before I'm a Karen, I'm polite and a statesman. We were talking about last night. If I got put in a hotel that I didn't like, you would never know. You would never
Really?
know. But I honestly, this one is amazing. This is phenomenal.
We are not. We can't say the same. When we were on a Bravo show, they put us in a hotel that it was in LA.
Oh no!
It was dump truck
Flea
city.
bag.
I mean, we walked in. There's like food from other customers on the floor. No fucking AC. How long were we there? 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah,
and
no,
this
you
is where having a friend that is a white hat Karen
Yes.
is beneficial because I am probably the more assertive out of the two of us, with the exception of confronting the service industry. I tend to be a little bit more beta. And this is where Pump shines and she is a little bit more alpha. And this is where I get to be a Karen coattail rider.
Okay.
You know,
You're a Karen coattail
I'm a
rider.
Karen coattail rider.
Okay.
And so, there are Karens, white hat Karens, and then there are the people who can play both sides. So Pumps will send our queso back. We have an ongoing battle with many restaurants serving queso that is
no.
not hot enough.
Does she have
to
a
eat.
reputation in this town?
Yes.
No, I'm a statesman first, though.
Okay.
I'm nice.
Okay.
Okay.
See, that's me too. I'm
She
nice.
sends
We're
it,
nice.
She
That's what-
sends the queso back, and I really want it to be hotter as well. But then I can look at the waitress and kind of go, so I can kind of play both sides. But before we go further, I
Good
want to
cop, bad
let
cop.
our listener know, our listener needs to know that, as you all know, we have a very sordid history with a fellow named Hasan Piker. He discovered us in like the cool, hip leftist world. Heaped all this praise on us. I love these ladies. I'm flying them out. They're going to be on our podcast. We were so excited. We're like, oh my God, somebody young and cool and hot likes us.
Right.
This is amazing. So we start emailing and then we were ghosted. And then
Completely.
our feelings were hurt. And so we banned Hasan Piker from the I've Had It podcast.
We white girl breakup done.
Yeah.
Total white girl breakup. And then then we announced that we were going to be back in LA. And they were like, hey, come by. So we lifted the ban.
Temporarily.
We show up at the studio and we meet Hasan, who Pumps immediately looks at him and goes, oh my God, you're hot.
He is hot.
He is.
To my defense.
Yeah,
we
he
meet-
is very hot.
We
yeah.
meet Will and we meet Austin. And it's this fantastic trio of very hot men.
Yes.
And we decided when we came back, number one, we believe in affirmative action, and Austin is homosexual.
Thank you. That's right.
This is a way for us to promote the gay agenda.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thank
And
you.
number two, it is a little bit of a jab at Hasan.
Yep, absolutely.
Which I know that you
I'm
like, and
all
we're
about it.
petty, and
Yeah.
we're still a little bit butthurt about the ghost.
Yep.
Even though he's tried to rectify,
Yeah.
we're white women, and we're gonna, have
You're
a
gonna hold on
grudge.
to it.
We're grudge holders.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, I love what you've done here because we went into his home, filmed in the studio, and then now I'm the shining golden child that has now come back.
How
to
does
Oklahoma.
it feel to be the chosen one?
Oh, I mean, it feels amazing. And I know Hasan so badly wanted to be here, but I told him you can't come. They didn't want you here.
You weren't
Right.
invited.
No, exactly. That's what I
How
told
is
him.
the victory lap going to be when you
When
get
I go back? Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell them on the. I'm a little bit. I'm gonna say now. I'm gonna probably rub it in their face.
Yeah.
But when I get there, I'm probably gonna recoil because I can't be mean. It's hard for me to be mean.
No, and
It's hard for me to rub their nose in it.
And they're the sweetest.
Yeah.
Will and Hasan were nothing short of gracious and wonderful. And of course, it's fun to have a little bit of a fake
Yeah.
internet beef.
Yeah, exactly. He can take it.
But, we like to get to these petty grievances.
I love it.
And so I'll start mine first. And let me tell you guys what I've had it with.
I'm ready.
So recently we were bitching about women that speak about labor and delivery stories nonstop. And most importantly, they do this at baby showers. You're trying to eat a cookie, you're trying to have a piece of cake, and somebody's talking about a mucus plug. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know about it.
Yeah.
I delivered my children twice. I don't want to revisit it. And I sure as fuck don't want to hear your war story.
Yeah.
So we speak about it on the podcast, and this mommy blogger site attempts a takedown of us on the internet.
No.
And here's what pissed me off about it. Look, we're fair game. Take us down. We could give two shits.
Yeah.
But the headline of their post is 2 mom podcasters bitch about baby showers. Here's what pisses me off about it. You don't say 2 dad podcasters.
Right.
No.
And in the article, they accused us of having internalized misogyny. And this lack of self-awareness when you labeled our podcast 2 mom podcasters fucking infuriates me. Yes, we are mothers. Our podcast isn't about that because nobody gives a fuck about our kids except for us.
That's right.
And we have self-awareness. Nobody gives a fuck about our mucus plugs because
I don't
we
even know
have
what that is.
self-awareness.
You're not missing
You don't
anything.
want to know. And I advise not going to a baby shower. And I
Okay.
specifically advise not getting on some mommy blog outlet. I've had it with that blog site. Had it up to my eyeballs. Mom podcasters, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. That's bullshit.
I'm an interior designer. I'm
Yeah.
a businesswoman. I'm a podcaster, a wife, a mother. I'm a lot of different things, but don't just define me only as a mother.
Yeah.
That is peak internalized misogyny.
You know what always
never heard about
amazes me is you hear about couples that are both famous and the dad will walk by and they're like, who are you wearing? Whatever. And then the mom walks by and they say, oh, who's got the kids tonight? How'd you get away from the kids tonight?
That is incredible.
I find that so offensive.
Uh-huh.
Like, why isn't he in charge of the babysitter?
And it happens all the time.
Happens all the time. My ex-husband used to say, do you want me to babysit the kids? Like, no, that's impossible because you're their fucking father. You cannot babysit
That's
your
so
own
crazy.
children.
Yeah.
That's his own kids, and he said that.
It's
That's so
very
wild.
common.
People do.
It's
Oh my-
very common.
You want me to babysit the kids?
Josh has said that to me before.
As if he's a stand-in.
Right. That's
What'd you do to him when he said
I said,
that?
it's not babysitting. It's called living your life
Yeah.
in your house with the people that you live with.
Mhm.
It's not a job. This is where you live and they live here too. And this is just your fucking life. This is a day in the life.
Mhm.
It's not babysitting.
And so he learned real quick.
Very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So has he said it recently?
Well, no.
Well,
I mean,
now
the
they're
kids
older
Yeah,
enough.
they're older.
They can
but-
watch themselves.
Yeah. But I will say, in
And what-
Josh's defense, he was, because I have 2 sons and sons tend to gravitate at a certain age to like same gender parent.
Uh-huh.
So they would go out and do all this, shit.
I was a mama's boy a little bit.
My
Yeah.
sons are mama's boys.
I like my parents have different roles. So when I'm ready, when I'm feeling sick, my mom was a nurse. So anything related to me being sick, or I want to talk about boys, or I want to talk about going out and everything, I call mom. If I want to talk about business or real estate or the market or something in politics or I'll call my dad. So, but as younger, I was mom was the one that did she was the authority growing up. So
I think I am. Josh is more like the good time dad,
Right.
that you can go out and do fun stuff with, and he's totally fun. And
Yeah.
I'm more like
he takes me as that.
Yes, when shit is going wrong and they need stability or like nurturing, I'm that
Yeah.
person. All right,
Yes.
Pumps, what have
Which
you
is
had
good.
it with?
What have you had it? Yeah.
What I've had it with, and this has been happening because it's springtime. I hate all small talk. I've had it with all small talk in general.
Mm.
But what I've had it with right now the most is the small talk about everybody's planting. Are you planting a perennial, an annual? Are you planting this bush, this bush? And I'm like, I can't get this time back. I'm dead. Like, I don't want to hear about your lawn. I would rather hear about your mucus plug than your boring, stupid ass
I'd rather
flowers.
hear about the lawn.
Are you going to scalp your yard? What kind of grass do you have? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I would be embarrassed if I knew.
Who are you talking to? Is this a suburban thing?
It's a suburban.
This has got a very suburban
This
thing.
is suburbs.
Yes.
I was gonna say I don't even know if my lawn's been treated in the last several weeks. I don't know what's going on with my lawn.
I have no idea.
You know how I know what's going on
idea.
with my lawn is because I pay the bill every month.
Okay.
That's it. That's what I know about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so it's getting taken care of.
Right.
I
Somebody
need to
comes
turn
and
my
does it.
sprinklers on. Actually, thanks for reminding me.
Can you do that from your phone?
No, I should be able to, but I'm going to tell somebody they got to turn my sprinklers on. I forgot. I left my sprinklers on through the winter on accident, and I had to turn them off because the water froze over in my front lawn. I almost killed my cousin because he slipped and almost hit his head. The first freeze that we had, and I'm very bad about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that stuff.
No.
I can't, and I don't even like people that want to tell me about that stuff.
But I know, because if you and I are a lot alike, you nod your head and you ask questions.
I do. I ask questions.
She feeds
I
stray
feed it.
cats.
That's what I do.
I
That's
see.
what I do.
This is the problem.
the same
You
thing.
two people that
I know.
feed the stray cats, because you know what happens when you feed a stray cat? They keep coming back.
Yes,
Yep.
I know.
And you're enabling these yak mouth, boring conversationalists where they think, God, Austin and Pumps thought I was a great conversationalist.
they were
So then they
interested.
go out and torture other people.
Yes.
You are doing
I
no
know.
service.
I
And it's
know.
amazing that two Karens, such as
know.
yourselves, can go and be so alpha
I know.
in some instances, and then you go feed these
know.
terrible conversationalists. I've had it.
And
It's
we do it.
horrible.
We do it all the time. I did it yesterday on the plane. I talked to somebody for an hour.
Oh, Austin.
I couldn't. It was the whole flight. He started the conversation. The moment I sat down, he was right there, and I was like, "Oh, no."
Ricky, where
I
were
was
your
like,
AirPods?
I looked at. They were in when he started talking to me. They were in, and he just kept talking and talking, and then I kept asking follow-up questions because I couldn't deal with the silence.
That's what my thing is.
Could not
I can't
deal
deal
with
with the silence.
And and he was sweet, and but I was kind of sometimes I like to see what I can get out of people.
Right.
You know? Sometimes it's like, well, I'm sitting here, I'm stuck here. What is this person going to tell me about their life? And I learn all about them.
Yeah.
And sometimes, sometimes you learn it interesting. Most of the time, it's not very interesting. But let me tell you what I've had it with.
Let's hear it.
Are you ready? And I don't know, this may be too a very common one. I'm going to say it anyway. I've had it with grown ass men pissing on the toilet seat and not wiping it because I go into the damn bathroom and I got to take care of it because if I don't, the person that comes in after is going to think that I peed all over the toilet seat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've had it. You're a grown ass man. You're not a fucking animal. Clean your piss off your seat.
I agree.
Clean it off.
agree.
And here's the thing,
It's
too.
ridiculous.
If it's a gender neutral bathroom or an airplane bathroom,
Yes.
oftentimes a lady's coming in after
Yes.
you.
Right.
Exactly.
You have to completely clean that seat.
Please.
Put the lid down before you flush.
Yes.
Make sure that shit is ready for the next user. And men with these penises spraying like it's a goddamn water hose.
All over the place.
It is a massive problem.
It's a huge problem. In fact, I think that we need to mandate that men sit when they pee if they can't handle it.
It's a great idea.
Because I do. I sit when I pee because it's number one, it's more comfortable. And it depends. It depends on the restroom.
Wait, let's dive into this.
Okay, let's go ahead.
How many times a day do you pee?
Oh, I pee so much. I pee like a pregnant woman.
Okay. And
I'm an obsessive peer because I pee because I can't have the feeling of going pee. It drives me nuts.
And the percentage of times you sit per
it's a
day
great-
versus stand.
Like at home.
It depends.
versus away.
If I'm away, if I'm in a public restroom like a mall bathroom, those are some of the worst bathrooms.
Right. I
stand. If the bathroom's the grosser the bathroom, the more likely I'm going to stand. I'm not going to touch anything. I'm going to use my foot to lift the
That's
toilet
what I
seat.
do.
Right.
I don't touch anything. Limit the points of contact. So depends on if the bathroom's really nice, like your bathroom. I just sat. I sat
like
in your
that.
bathroom. Yeah,
you peed like a girl.
I did. And At nighttime, in my hotel room, at home, I'm sitting.
You're peeing like a girl.
At home, I'm peeing like a girl.
My male French bulldog, Tubby, he pees like a girl.
Okay.
And I appreciate how in touch he is with his own masculinity to pee like a girl. He doesn't have to hike a leg. He squats. And I appreciate that you're that in touch with your masculinity to just sit. Let me ask you this. Do you have to kind of push the penis down a little bit?
Yeah, you do.
Right at the pelvic bone?
Because if you get distracted, you could end up in a situation where you're peeing out the toilet seat. It's happened to me many times.
Right.
It's not, and then you get wet, and then it's like, oh shit, you know. And as a guy, you got to get used to. Sometimes you're going to pee on yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to learn to wipe it off and move on with your life.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's I know.
How do you feel about dribble? Like when you pull your old man dribble?
Dribble. I mean, it happens to all of us, and that's annoying. It's annoying. You got to shake it quite a bit. I hate it. So I usually will take a little tissue paper.
That's what I'm saying. Why don't you just dab at the end?
Yeah, because it's gay, evidently. Because men think that anything that is related to, like, if you're
hygiene.
Literally. Like, have you heard of dude wipes?
No.
Oh my God, I don't want to shit on a brand because I'm sure it's great, but dude wipes. This is so funny to me. They've invented a baby wipe that men feel that they can use without feeling gay or effeminate. So they've taken baby wipes and they've branded them as dude wipes. And so there are these wipes that literally are baby wipes, but they just branded as dude wipes so men feel comfortable using them.
Okay, let's talk
insane.
about, we talked about this a little bit last night at dinner. So Austin went to dinner last night with my husband, Josh Welch, and me. And the listener knows who Josh is and his storied history with metrosexuality and products and manscaping and whatnot. And Austin said to Josh, I think it's great that you just embrace, you know, hair serums, creams for your face, all of these things. Because now, like, there's that whole alpha male movement where you're perceived as being gay or a pussy if you take care of yourself.
Yeah, basic take care of yourself.
Yeah.
It's at some point this happened in society, and men that took care of themselves, we had to invent a term for it. Metro was invented so that we could define a straight man that took care of himself in the most basic ways.
I'm a firm believer that anybody who has to tell you they're an alpha male is a beta male.
Oh, yeah.
Has deep insecurity.
Yes.
Because there is nothing less attractive than a man going on and on about they're an alpha male.
Yeah.
I'm an alpha male.
Do you see a lot of this out here in Oklahoma?
We see it lived out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, when we go to our son's basketball games, you see this kind of a man that would be perceived as an alpha male. And let me describe what I think they look like. So there's a gut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Love that.
And when they stand up, there's this big effort to kind of hiking a leg and raising up the pants over the gut. And they usually have a toothpick and they do it kind of as they're doing it, like they think they're hot.
Right.
And they're probably wearing, you know, some sort of horrible aftershave that should have never been on the market, that has been branded like Alpha Musk, you know, something like that. That's the scent that they're going after.
Right.
And I do not find anything about what Fox News would deem alpha male.
Right.
I don't find any of that sexy
Trump.
or attractive.
That's what that's their alpha male.
Right. Demeaning to women. Treats women like a subhuman species.
Clinically obese.
Obese.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with being obese, for the record, but when you're,
But he acts like he's got your body. It's like you're well far from that. Or just the slights to women, like, can you get me a coffee? Or, hey, run to the concession stand and get me something, to his wife. I'm always just like...
Or grabbing him by the pussy is what he said, very famously.
Grabbing him right by the pussy.
Grabbing him right by the pussy.
Right by the
but
pussy.
for me, a bigger turn on...
That's not a thing.
No, that's
Nobody
not
grabbed
a thing.
by the pussy. It's sexual assault.
Even in a consensual situation, nobody wants to be grabbed by the pussy.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly.
Is that right? That's not even like a move in a... That's what I'm trying to say. Like, even in a consensual, which he wasn't talking about it.
Right. No, he was just going in for it.
He was just going for it.
It's not a base.
No.
It's not first base. It's not a base.
This is not a move.
Right.
This is not like a, you know, like for example, you have, you know, it wouldn't be like a consensual grab would not be a good thing.
No, and you certainly wouldn't just walk up and grab the pussy. There would have to be some type of foreplay or effort put into it before you grab him by the pussy.
I don't even know if you'd ever get to a point where you're grabbing or cuffing it. I don't even know. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know what you do with a pussy.
Yeah,
Is that what
you wouldn't be cupping.
you don't?
You wouldn't
Right.
be
It's
cupping
not a
it.
grab
No,
situation.
it's more
The
like-
breast you can grab.
Okay, you can.
You could grab it. You can grab a tit.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, pecs are breast adjacent.
Grab a cheek.
Right.
Yeah,
An ass
cheeks are
cheek.
great. Yes,
Like
love that.
yeah.
Okay, I'm familiar with those.
Yeah.
That's good.
But
Grab those.
I don't think the alpha male thing is even remotely attractive. I'm far more attractive to a man that has no problem going to dinner with you
Mhm.
or hanging out with you and your boyfriend or
Yep.
whomever you're dating
Mhm.
and is completely comfortable in his own sexuality and not even remotely threatened by it.
Yep.
Because I cannot imagine, like Kylie, our producer, is a lesbian.
Mhm.
I can't imagine that you and I would be all in a tit about being around Kylie. And these
No.
men, these alpha males,
Mhm.
are so worried about being around gay men, which I think Freud would probably read something into that.
Yeah, there may be something there.
There might be something there.
They feel like if you really think that being around a gay man is going to make you gay, maybe there's already something there.
right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Right.
Maybe a bi-curious at minimum.
Maybe. I wish we just didn't have this societal construct because I think so many more people, we would see the spectrum of sexuality would reveal itself and people wouldn't be trying to put themselves in one corner or the other.
I agree.
Right. It wouldn't
I
be
just
boxed in.
wish that
going,
was the case, but here we are.
Everything is so binary and black and white.
Mhm.
You know, boy, girl, gay,
Mhm.
straight.
Mhm.
And then the people that we live around are so, triggered. The alphabet mafia. And
Oh,
I'm just
God,
like,
I
why do
love
you
that.
give a
why do you give a
shit?
shit?
I know.
That's what I was
It's-
thinking. Like, I don't even, if I went to dinner with you and your person you're dating, Kylie and Anna, it would never, sex would never come into my mind.
No.
You know what I mean? I would
Yeah.
never, same with Jennifer and Josh. I mean, I just don't sit around thinking about what other people do in their bedroom ever.
Yeah.
I
No.
just don't.
That's a them problem.
This episode of I've Had It is brought to you by BetterHelp. Pumps. Do you ever have like these imaginary conversations in your head because you're so irritated at a person or a situation and you just cannot quit talking to the imaginary person in your head?
I do that all the time. And I have imaginary conversations with myself because I'm so angry at myself. What has helped me so much is the convenient BetterHelp therapist.
What I love about my BetterHelp therapist is it's entirely online. By doing it online, it's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to my schedule. All I had to do was fill out a brief questionnaire and I got matched with a licensed therapist. And I was able to switch therapists one time that I didn't like very much at no additional charge. Listener, Pumps and I have both benefited so much from therapy, but we find it very difficult to fit in-person therapy sessions with our very busy schedules. So if you have something you'd like to get off your chest, get it off with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/hadit today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/hadit. Okay, you had texted me on your flight into Oklahoma
Yes.
about something to do with children.
Yes. How did you knew it happened on that flight too?
Oh, yeah.
I've had it with parents. This is not the kids' fault.
I agree.
Parents that don't know how to control their children. I understand babies cry.
Yeah, they're
Kids
off
are
the
obnoxious.
list. Yep.
These are all things that, as a traveler, I understand. I saw a comment on about this topic where it's like you can choose to have a kid-free life, you can't choose to have a kid-free world.
That's right.
I believe that, but you can't hijack that theory and do things like what happened on my flight yesterday. There was a younger mom and her younger mother, the mom's younger mother, who is, I guess, the grandmother of this younger child, and they were both, the mom and the grandmother were drank, and I'm all about it. Have fun.
Right.
Cut loose. I don't care.
Right.
The problem is as this flight progressed, this child was screaming uncontrollably, running back and forth between the aisle. They befriended some random guy that was also going back and forth and switching places as the child wanted to go from one place to another. The child was in their diaper, running around, pulling on people's seats.
No.
I'm not even kidding. And the woman next to me was about to have a mental breakdown. But I've had it with people that don't teach their kids manners. They
Agree.
run in, they're running around in public places and making a ruckus. And I don't blame the kids. I would never get mad at the kids. The parents need to come on.
Were the parents acting like, look at how cute our kid is? That's the fucking problem.
That is my pet peeve of the world.
She's been up since 5. Oh, she's cranky. Oh, it's been a long day.
Right. Like, oh, it's fine.
There is a lack of self-awareness in motherhood where it is the most special thing that happens to the mother. You have this baby, you raise it, you do all of these things, you love it. It's this intense love. But it's unique to you and that child only. When you take that child out into the world, nobody else thinks your fucking kid is as great as you do.
Right.
Period. But the amount of projection that young parents have to project that, look at how great this child is, and this is wildly entertaining to me. So everybody that is a hostage right now on this domestic flight in the United States of America, look at how wonderful my little darling is.
Yeah.
I've had it
No, me
up to
too.
my eyeballs
I've
for
had
that.
it.
And you know what? The kid is innocent now.
Yeah.
But that kid's going to grow up to be a monster and a pussy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no question.
You can't. Yeah.
Because the parent will always be like, oh my gosh, you're so great. And the first time somebody says you're not great, guess what the kid's going to be? A pussy.
Yeah.
A total pussy.
Yeah, because they haven't been able to take any criticism or anything through their entire life. I feel bad. I feel bad for this particular daughter. It was a nightmare situation. I chosen to not let it bother me though. I've gotten better about that, not getting upset. I just put in my headphones and turned my music up loud, but I could hear the chaos just all around me.
Right.
And this woman next to me was about to lose her mind.
Did the flight attendant ever intervene?
No, that's the other thing. I was like, why isn't it at a certain point the
'Cause they're
flight
bossy.
attendant? Yeah, no, they are. They can,
And I like it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I
me
do
too. They
too.
got to keep the order. And again, I want to be clear. I'm not in. Babies cry. Kids get
Babies are
cranky.
100%. I've had a
People
screamer
do
on 'em.
things. I'm okay with that. Of course. I mean, I have to be. I get it. You travel. It's you can't leave your kids at home. Sometimes
Right.
you got to travel with them. I'm not talking about that. The problem is I've had it with people that don't know how to discipline their children, or they have to give them the phone.
Or at least make an effort.
Or just make an effort.
An effort.
Right.
If you see that the mom is like really trying and then looks to the other passengers and is like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Then that's
Then
different.
there's
It's different.
empathy. There is an
Exactly.
empathy
Yes.
connection because she's trying to control an uncontrollable toddler.
Yes.
But when it's like, look at how great this free show is and
Yeah.
how fantastic
Yeah.
our
And
DNA
that's how
is
it
and
was.
our little darling, I have had it up to my eyeballs with that.
No, I've had it. It was fine. I mean, I've had worse. It was totally fine. But it was just like, oh my gosh. I was in a good headspace, so I wasn't letting it bother me. But there are times I'm just like, when kids like don't hold the door or something, I'm like,
Right. No, I'm the
little
worst.
shit,
Especially like in a restaurant or when you're trying on clothing
Yep.
or if you're at an athletic event and it's like you're an adult, you're there, you brought your kids, that's fine. I'm glad you brought your kids. Good for you. But when they're like, throwing popcorn or bumping into you
Yeah.
repeatedly, or I've even had this one like kid playing peekaboo with me in a dressing room.
Oh my gosh.
And the
it's so
mom is
inappropriate.
just like, "Are you playing peekaboo?"
Yeah, it's like,
And I'm just like,
hello.
"You fucking grab
Yeah.
your kid.
Yeah,
Like, this
literally.
is on you."
No,
Yeah.
it's inappropriate. And that's the thing. I don't have a problem. If the kid goes peekaboo, that's not the issue. It's what the parent does
Right,
after that.
exactly.
It's like,
That's it.
we're not going to do
We're
that.
not doing
we don't
that.
know them.
Because then it's cute and silly, right?
Right.
Because
Then
then
it's
it's like,
just a
oh,
kid
then
being
it's
a
just a
kid.
kid being a kid.
Right,
But
right.
as soon as the parent enable the behavior going, oh, look at you,
You
know?
immediately
And
hate
that's what
both
was
of them.
happening yesterday is like this child was being a demon and everybody was like, oh, she's making excuses, saying she's tired, she's cranky. But you can tell you can tell it's a consistent, there's a reason why she's acting like that because she knows she can get away with it. And kids are smart, right?
Yeah,
They will get away with it. If they will run the show if you let them, right? Is that, I mean, I'm not a
Absolutely.
parent, I have no idea, but that's what
that's how it works.
that's what my mom told me.
Another thing you messaged us about, and this is a long grievance of ours, and it's something that we are definitely trying to bring attention to.
Sure.
And it is the people that are going through TSA
Yes,
that are completely unprepared.
completely.
It's unbelievable.
It's like, yeah, no.
One thing I want to do when I go through TSA is I want to be the marvel of TSA. I want them to say, oh, Guess who's here today? It's our A+ student,
Exactly.
Jennifer.
Yep.
She has all her shit together. She is ready to go through. She takes her little box on the other side of the X-ray machine, moves it down. You know what I even do? When people don't pick up their little boxes, I go ahead, there could be 7 there. I go ahead and stack them all up
do that.
to set an example.
I do that as well.
To these heathens running around TSA to say, look at me.
Yes.
I'm not above anything. I'll pick up your tray as well because we're all in this together.
Yes. No, going through the line, and it's like these people showed up not expecting to go through security.
So amazing.
I'm like, what are you doing? Why did you dress like that? Because you have to take off, they take off their earrings and their necklaces and their watches, and they're so unprepared for it. And then they leave their bag. They don't guide it all the way through to
You've got to guide it. You've got to stay with it.
You got to stay on top of it.
Stay with the bag until it starts to get on the belt.
Yes. No.
That is we don't ever talk about that one enough. There's people that are going line and then TSA is like, you got to go back and get with your bag.
Yeah.
And it screws up the order of everything.
Yes.
It does.
Tell them about your idea about if the star rating like Uber and then you have to go back to the back of the line.
Okay, here's my idea. So TSA, we have a little app as we go through. And the TSA agents give us a rating, like Uber.
Ooh.
We rate the TSA, and the TSA can in turn rate us back.
Okay.
If you have a 5-star TSA rating, you have your own line to go through.
I like that.
Okay?
I like that.
If you start getting diminished, then you have to go over to the shitty, unprepared loser TSA line.
Yes. Yes.
I think this could fix so many things. I think one thing about Uber that I like is the fact that they rate you as a customer.
Right.
I oppose this. The customer's always right. Because sometimes the customer's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Present company somewhat excluded in that with Karenism. But I just think that TSA needs to strike back and start rating us. And if you're a great traveler and you have your cell phone out of your pocket, you're not wearing a bunch of crazy shit. You don't have, all sorts of things that shouldn't be going through. Your liquids are separated. Yeah. You get 5 stars and you get preferential treatment.
Preferential treatment for being prepared.
Yeah, no, it
They're doing it all wrong. You have this TSA pre and you have clear and you have global entry because you filled out some forms. That's not far enough for me.
Yeah.
I need to know when I'm going through clear and I'm going through TSA pre that those motherfuckers are as prepared and take the care and time and attention and have the self-awareness that I have when I go through it. Because just because somebody's TSA pre doesn't mean that they're X-ray ready.
You need to.
I am always X-ray ready.
And you take pride in it too.
I want everybody at TSA to say she fucking crushed it.
I don't want to be. I don't want to miss a step when I'm getting up to that scanner. I'm taking out my wallet, my phone, my headphones in the bag. I've got a system. Zip it up. Anything in your pockets? No, don't even ask. I already know. There's nothing in my pockets. I'm ready for the X-ray machine.
X-ray X-ray ready.
I'm so confident that I know when I go through it, if it goes off, it's a random. Okay.
That's exactly right.
That's how confident I am.
If it is a random, I'm so confident. I immediately walk up to them with my hands out because I know they're going to dust it.
Exactly. I already know. I'm already prepared.
Know.
I'm already prepared.
Because you know what? I'm random ready.
Yeah.
I'm X-ray ready. I'm random ready. And a lot of the TSA preers and a lot of the clearers and a lot of the global entryers are not.
Okay, so
they need to take it a step further.
I will say I'm a little bit of a hypocrite here because I got sassy one time with the TSA. And I got angry because I was in the pre-check line, but they closed pre-check and they made me go through the regular line and they made me go through the body scanner. Well, I said, I've heard that you could opt out of the body scanner. So I was like, I'm going to be a pain in the ass. And I opted out of the body scanner and I made them pat me down like the old-fashioned way because I refused to go through the body scanner.
Just an act of rebellion?
It was an act of rebellion, yeah. Because I was thinking, I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac and I was like, oh my God, all this X-ray, radiation. So I use that to justify the little bit of an inconvenience.
Total Karen.
You
totally Karen, and you thought,
sassy.
I'm going to show them.
I'm going to show them.
A little bit hungover, a little bit tired.
Yes, a little bit of a combination of everything. But most of the time,
a little bit of a Karen.
I'm a perfect angel most of the time. I'm going through. I'm keeping to myself. I think a lot of people have this perception that I'm a monster. Like I'm just like in an airport, headphones in, don't talk to anybody. Just going through security. Nice to, I like friendly conversation with random people, but yeah, just keeping to myself going through security.
Yeah. Pumps is pretty good about 98% of the time. But sometimes, like if there's a flight delay or something, the Karenism takes hold. And at one point, we're like stuck on the runway, and the flight attendant comes and she's announcing, and then she asks if anybody has questions. Nobody fucking raises their hand because we're all stuck on the plane. There's nothing anybody can do.
Yeah.
Fucking Karen here.
Oh no.
Hand is up in the air.
What do you
question.
ask?
I think I asked, like, is it a mechanical failure? Are they going to fix
matter.
it?
It's nothing
See,
we
that's
can do.
a really important
Are we going to switch
question.
planes? How
That's
are we
an
going to?
important question. Nobody asked
Quit
this.
enabling
the
her,
nature
Austin.
of the
Quit enabling.
No, hold on. You need to know the nature of the failure. Right. Because if you don't know the nature of the failure, you don't know how long this is going to spiral.
Right.
Right. Is it crew?
Yeah,
Is
because
cr-
Pumps
is it
knows
late
all
arriving
about
crew?
aerodynamics.
Well, but I know if, like, they're bringing a maintenance person over versus a new crew. Are we going to change planes? Like, I'm trying
What's
to.
the nature of the emergency?
This is Karen
What's
shit.
the
Hashtag Karen
navigation
shit
of
right
how
here.
long are we going to be here?
Well, no,
I need to just, like, start getting into, is it going to be 3 hours? Is it going to be 5 hours?
Yeah. So what often the most frequent, because I'm an aviation nerd, so I'll pull up
Okay.
my app and I'll be tracking.
Okay.
The key is to find the tail number of the plane so you can actually figure out the flight number. Because they change the flight numbers could apply to
Any airplane.
like the flight, for example, every time you get on a plane, usually the plane's arriving from another place.
Right.
But when it's arriving from that other place, it has a different flight number. So searching the flight number is not going to find you where that plane is. So you got to find the tail number, the registration. Every plane has unique registration. So when you see a delay, my first thing you should do is find the tail number of that particular flight. It's easy to do on one of these apps, and then figure out where that plane's coming from. I'd say most of the time, I'd say 70 to 80% of the time, a delay is due to a late arriving plane or something like that. The second most common delay is a crew situation. And those tend to be those tend to be a little unpredictable. That's when you ask the question, what's the nature of the delay? Is it mechanical? Oh, it's crew. Okay, where's the crew coming from? Then you figure out where that plane is, and then you can kind of figure out, because the airlines won't tell you the full story. They'll delay it slowly. You'll find out this information later. So if you can get ahead of the game and figure out how long this delay is going to last, because sometimes they'll be like, oh, this flight's departing in 40 minutes, and you look and you're like, the plane that we're getting on isn't going to be here for another 50 minutes. How are we departing in 40? But the airlines won't tell you. You'll find that out later. When the airlines will choose to tell you later. But if you figure it out early, you're like, well, I'm not going to make this. I'm going to miss my connection. I'm going to get ahead of it. I'm going to change my booking now.
Right.
And get ahead of everything. So it's like Karenism, but it's good doing the proper research and figuring out. These are good questions.
It's a nuance. It's a nuance of Karenism.
Yeah.
It's called investigative Karenism.
Investigative Karenism.
Right.
That's
Yes.
right.
Because I just want to know, like,
Yeah.
is it going to be 5 hours? If it's 5 hours, then let me just plan accordingly.
Yes.
But don't 5 minutes me to death.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not upset. When things go wrong, I don't care. It's fine.
It's out of my control.
It's out of my control. I don't get upset. I'm just like, how can I figure out how to get home quickly? If I can't get home quicker, fine, I'll take it. I'll accept this is my destiny. That's the thing that I have also had it with, is people that get fucking upset at, like, when there's a weather delay or something like that.
Right.
What are we going to do about it?
What are you going to do?
Right.
Why are you stressed? What are you going to do? Or also, second to that, I've had it with people that don't, like, they think they're in more of a rush than they need to be.
Because they're so busy.
Because they're reading the boarding time instead of
Or
the
what about
departure
the people that are
time,
rushing to get on the plane ahead of, like, 3 people ahead of you
Yeah.
that cut the line?
Yeah.
And it's like, that actually didn't accomplish
No.
anything.
Right.
Because we all have to get on this thing through
No.
the same entire entrance.
Okay, I've got a question for you guys, because
Okay.
you guys fly priority a lot.
Okay.
If you're boarding the plane late, there's usually a priority lane and then there's just a normal boarding lane. Will you jump the other people in the general boarding lane and get in your priority lane and get on the plane before?
Absolutely, Austin.
Okay,
That's
see,
not even a question.
I struggle with that.
If
I
it's
get in
two
line.
defined lines.
Right, if it's two
If
defined
there's like a
lines.
little rope and this is the group 1 through 3 or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
and it's defined,
Yeah,
I'm for sure going over if I'm running late.
Okay.
If it seems like there's only one place, I'm not going to go walk and cut in front of
No,
all
I
of those
wouldn't
people.
Yeah.
I could never do that.
Only
that
when
would
there's
just,
a defined line.
a defined line.
I've done it before, but a lot of people don't understand
Right.
the situation, so they think that you're cutting the
Entitled.
line. And
Right.
sometimes I can't handle that perception, and so I just get in line with everybody
I would
else.
get in line. If there wasn't a defined
Yeah.
line, I
But
would
even
go
when
to the
there's a
back of the
defined
line.
sometimes I just, because I just can't handle it. Sometimes I don't want to get judged
All
by
right.
these people.
Let's play.
I'm all for it.
Homes.com knows that when it comes to home shopping, it's never just about the house or condo. It's about the home. And what makes a home is more than just the house or property. It's the location and neighborhood. If you have kids, it's also schools, nearby parks, and transportation options. That's why Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth information they need to find the right home. And when I say in-depth, I'm talking deep. Each listing features comprehensive information about the neighborhood, complete with a video guide. They also have details about schools with test scores, state rankings, and student-to-teacher ratio. They even have an agent directory with the sales history of each agent. So, when it comes to finding a home, not just a house, this is everything you need to know, all in one place. Homes.com. We've done your homework. Pumps, can you believe that we started this podcast and now we've evolved to being big girl podcasters that have our very own merch and an online merch store? I don't know how we would have done this without discovering
Shopify. Shopify makes having an online store so easy.
Listener, Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. That's 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic. It is your AI-powered all-star. Sign up for $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/hadit, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/hadit now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/hadit. Let's play Had It or Hit It.
Okay, had it or hit it. I'm ready.
Okay. Oh my God. Welcome to Had It or Hit It. I would hit it.
Had it.
Had it. I hit it every day, sometimes twice a day. Now, Seth, our producer, wrote a lot of these because he follows you guys.
Okay.
Okay, Had It or Hit It, the iconic roof where the Beatles performed for the last time.
Oh my God. Had it or hit it. Sorry. Okay, so this is a story. This is from, did you guys know about the famous Beatles rooftop concert?
Yes.
In 1969?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were filming a podcast in London, and I wanted to film on a rooftop because I wanted a view, and they wanted to film in, they were just like, let's film in a studio. I'm like, why would we fly all the way to London with this backdrop being just this boring room?
Right.
So I convinced them to film on a roof, and the reason I convinced them is I said, this is the place of the iconic Beatles 1969 concert.
You told Hasan and Will
I
this?
told Hasan. It was just Hasan because Hasan, Will wasn't with us. It was just me and Hasan, and then we had this other streamer named Ray on our podcast. And I said, this is the spot of the iconic 1969 concert with the Beatles. Hasan, before the podcast, telling his whole family about it, bragging, and I went the entire podcast doing the bit over and over again. And then at the end, I told him it wasn't the same rooftop at all. But you couldn't tell because honestly, it kind of looked.
Yeah.
It was I think a mile away from the actual rooftop. So you know. But I tricked him the whole time.
Was he pissed?
I'll hit it.
Okay.
Was he mad at you?
He was upset, but like it was one of my. It was
a good one.
It was a good clip too.
Yeah.
It's a great clip.
Had It or Hit It game shows.
Oh gosh, this is a good one. I don't want to say. I think I've kind of had it. I don't really like game shows that much anymore. I do one, Name Your Price, but it's really
other than what I host.
That's kind of how I feel about podcasts.
It's like
I have one, but I don't know if I hit them all the time.
Yeah, I don't hit it. I've kind of had it. I mean, I love Name Your Price, but Name Your Price isn't a serious game show. It's a joke. Like it's a jokey show. It's a tongue-in-cheek show where it's not meant to be taken seriously.
We're children of the 80s.
Yeah.
And
Lots
I
of game
fucking
shows.
hit game shows growing up because here's the situation. When we would come home from school or if it was a weekend, you had to go to your television and you turned it on and whatever was on was what you watched. So we watched soap operas.
Yeah.
We watched game shows and then just what was ever on TV. And so I loved The Price is Right.
Yep.
Loved it. I crushed it. I loved The Wheel of Fortune. Jeopardy. I was quite good at that.
Yep.
Did you like all those?
I
Pyramid.
liked Pyramid, but my favorite, which I would still watch today, Family Feud. I love
Feud is fantastic.
Love
Harvey.
Family Feud.
He was great.
Well, now it's Steve Harvey, but somebody, I'm sure it's been a few hosts.
Richard Dawson was our
okay.
back in the day.
Okay, gotcha.
He's been dead 20 years.
So-
probably 30
Did you
years.
watch All My Children?
Yes, I watched All My
So
Children,
good.
Days of Our Lives.
Soap operas were so great.
I've kind of had. I don't know why. I just feel like it's so hard. But we're so oversaturated with entertainment.
Totally.
Right.
I feel like I'm numb, and it's so hard to entertain me these days.
Yeah.
because we're so oversaturated. It's so hard.
Do you
Yeah.
like start a show, like a new show, and you get like 2 episodes in, and if you're just not taking off your feet, you're just like, eh.
I get 2 minutes into a show. and
Okay,
if I'm not taking
I
off-
commit a little bit more
Like,
than that.
I can't do it. I've had it with watching a series. Like
Oh, I love a good
love a
series.
series.
I don't know why. I just can't. I can never, because I know I'm never gonna finish it. I think that's why, because I'm always
Right.
gone, and so I know I'm never gonna finish it, and I think that's why I've kind of had it. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe I need therapy. Maybe I need to dig into why this is. Why I can't sit and watch something for consistency. I don't know.
I mean, I have to, but I'm the same. Like, I'm not going to sit there and watch it if it's just not killing me immediately because we have so many choices.
Yeah, because the reason I say I may need therapy for this is because when I look back, like when I was a kid, I hated days where I would have to stay inside and watch TV because I really wanted to go outside. I don't think that's not trauma, but I don't know. Maybe that's why, like, whenever I think about like sitting in and watching a TV show, I just feel like I'm missing out on something in the outside world.
See,
I don't know.
I have the joy of missing out.
Yeah, I do too.
I love
But you're
missing
young.
out.
Okay.
I absolutely love more than anything
Yeah.
missing out on something.
Yeah.
Like a peak life for me would be at home in my bed, binge watching a series with my French bulldogs. And I get on Instagram and a lot of my friends are at some wretched party with some wretched band playing cover songs.
You like that? It's
and
like
they're
the
drunk
opposite of
as
FOMO.
shit, like posting on their Instagram. And I'm like, I am so fucking glad
Yeah.
I am not at that event.
Right.
I couldn't be happier to sit in this bed with my French bulldogs watching this TV show. I have the joy of missing out.
See, that JOMO.
Jomo.
Joy of missing out. Yeah. JOMO.
JOMO.
That's a new thing.
It is.
That's
Embrace JOMO and be X-ray ready.
Okay. X-ray ready.
Let's
Take everything else away.
JOMO,
And
be X-ray
X-ray
ready,
ready.
be carousel ready.
Yep.
Okay.
Like that.
Had it or hit it, Twinks.
Hit it always. This seems oddly targeted. Hit it. I do like Twinks, although I think I have like people think I only like Twinks, which is that typically is my type, but I also like Twunks.
What's a twunk?
Twunk is like a more muscular twink. I think actually that is more what I like, and I think people I kind of mischaracter. I kind of use it twink interchangeably, but I kind of like. Twunks are like a little bit more muscular twinks, and I kind of like that better.
This is going to be a had it or hit it, and we're going to need some explanation. And this isn't a way for you to defend yourself against a lot of frivolous accusations.
Okay.
Had it or hit it, selfish tops.
Oh gosh. Had it or hit it, selfish tops.
Selfish tops.
You know what? I've had it with people thinking I'm a selfish top. I have absolutely had it. And finally, I think I'm in company of 2 ladies that will understand that I'm telling the truth when I say I am not a selfish top. I am so passionate when I meet somebody or I'm intimate with somebody about making sure that their needs are met from the jump. Because when I talk about my pleasure, it is them being pleasured. If they're not enjoying it, like that's why I have such a difficulty understanding when you talk about these men in your past that you've slept with that think that they're the bomb, and they think that they're so good and they didn't stop for a second and they feel that way when you weren't enjoying the experience.
It's epidemic.
I cannot understand how they're enjoying themselves. Like I've never been able to understand that. So yeah, like whenever I meet somebody, it's a communication from the, what do you like? I communicate beforehand. I'm all about foreplay. I love to eat ass. I love to do all of the things. And I make sure my partner, I always want my partner to finish. Like I prefer them to finish first.
Okay.
But that to me actually could be a little selfish because sometimes people want you to finish first. But regardless, they're finishing regardless. That I'll make sure that happens. So yeah,
It's a happy ending.
It's a happy ending
Always.
for all involved.
All involved. It's always happy. I work very hard. It's a sense of pride.
So
that
you're
they
an
have
unselfish
I would
talk.
say that's
Selfless.
very selfless talk.
Yes,
Selfless talk. I mean, y'all have gotten just endless content out of
Yeah,
this thing,
no,
right?
I know. I mean, endless. I mean, they've called me. There's probably gonna be merch about it. Selfish top. I mean, I'm gonna sell it too. I mean, I'm gonna sell it.
for sure.
I'll wear the selfish top merch, but it's more of a joke.
Selfish top merch, I think, would be pretty.
I like it.
A big seller
Yeah,
in the
but
gay
too.
community.
The thing, it's so frustrating. It's like, how am I gonna prove this? You know, I can't prove it to anybody.
Right,
You know?
right. Who cares what they think?
Who cares what they think? But
As long
you
as
know,
it's not someone you sleep with. Who cares?
exactly.
You know
like,
what
yeah.
I bet it is? I bet there's a lot of projection because I bet the selfish top is Hasan.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's projection.
Thank you.
We all know what it is.
Thank you so much because
Yeah.
I know I've said this often.
Yeah.
That Hasan is a selfish top.
I've
said this.
And here's the situation that
Yeah.
poor straight men don't understand.
Yeah.
And this is why they're fooled so easily
Yeah.
often into thinking they're such great lovers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what the situation is. You start having sex with a man. He could be a gyrator. He could not be very good at
What's a
it.
gyrator? Oh, just
A
like
gyrator is a jackrabbit.
Yeah. and I think a lot of them start
no
gyrators.
rhythm.
They start
No.
gyrating.
And they just do that immediately.
They start gyrating,
Jackhammer.
and so then you immediately know this is not going to be a good lay. I am not going to orgasm,
Right.
But I need for him to as quickly as possible. So you pull out your Oscar,
Okay.
and you can immediately
The fake
get his
orgasm.
rocks off in 2.5 seconds. Women enable this.
But it's
Peacock
self-preservation
behavior. It is
also.
self-preservation. You want it to end. So then they leave the situation thinking, wow, she was screaming her head off. This woman came for her life. I am Rico Suave. I am a great fucking lover. So we have enabled this, much like you and Pumps feed the stray cats, you know, that are yak mouthers. So Hasan could believe that he is a great lover, and maybe he is.
But he has no idea.
He has no idea because women are not transparent about this.
I will
because
say-
we understand the male ego couldn't take it. If I said you were a gyrator, you fucking sucked.
Oh,
I
it'd be
never
the
want to
death.
fuck you again.
If I'm being truthful, and it hurts me to give him praise, but women have been outspoken about how good he is.
Good for him.
And
Good for him.
And
Good for him.
he is. I think he is actually a selfless. I think he knows how to eat pussy. Sorry. I know. I think he knows how to eat. Women have been outspoken.
Good for him.
He dated a porn star for a period of time, and I think she's been outspoken
On the job
about-
training.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's definitely. I think he's a pro, and like it pains me to say. He's
hard on
probably a
you.
pretty good lover.
And here's
but I
what-
think he'd be a selfish top if he was gay.
Probably.
Just
And
assuming
here's
he
what
was.
I want to say.
Yeah.
Because I believe that men like Hasan, who are like totally comfortable in their masculinity, I would think that they would probably be better lovers
Agree.
because they have more self-awareness.
That's it.
Right.
It is the faux
That's the key.
alpha males,
Yes.
the Sean Hannitys,
Yes.
the Jesse Waters,
Ugh.
the Tucker Carlsons that you know
Oh, God.
are gyrators.
That's yeah.
You
the
know
Ted Cruz's.
You know he's
Oh,
the most
my God.
unfuckable person
No,
on the planet.
on the planet.
I can't believe. Yeah,
The
I just
most
can't- I
unfuckable.
just cannot. Oh yeah, he's got to be a gyrator. He's probably.
Oh, he has to lift that belly up. He has to probably go in from the back door. It's 2 pump chump. You're
yeah,
done.
it's done. Oh God, I just
Awful.
can't. I just what an insufferable person. I can't believe people vote for him.
Insufferable.
I know.
I know.
All right, listen up, listener. This has been, I could sit here and talk to Austin forever. And
So
we are
fun.
going to, on our Patreon post show, which will start now, but you can go find Austin on Twitch,
Yep, Austin Show.
Austin Show on all the social medias.
Mm-hmm.
He is a TikTok sensation. I was on his TikTok last night, and the name of their podcast is Fear and.
Fear and. Come check us
here's the thing: Austin's the star of Fear and.
Oh,
I don't care what you see, what you read. That's why he's the chosen one. And we believe in affirmative action.
Yeah, that's right. Affirmative
DEI.
action. Yeah.
Still going on
and-
here.
I was a
DEI.
diversity hire.
That's
for
right.
sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
All
You were
right.
paid to say. Yeah, you had to say I was the best one.
Exactly. All right, Pumps, tell him.
We will see you next Tuesday or Thursday or both.